Good morning, dreamers. It is December 22nd, 2023. This is episode 23 of the Paul Green Comedy Paulcast. So think of that. 12 2 2 2 3 2 3. 1 2 2 2 2 3 2 3. I don't know. I thought that was cool. So it is raining outside here in Arizona. I love the rain. It's an anomaly in Arizona, and it puts me in this space of anomalous things. Anomalous? Is that a word? Rare things happening. And I think as a dreamer, there is always this element of hope that something out of the ordinary is going to happen. I think that's sort of the essence of what we're doing, is that we are hoping to experience something that maybe isn't a regular experience for those who perhaps are not pursuing a dream or a big goal. And so I don't know. It's raining. It just kind of puts me in this little, just a mode. It's an energy, and it's an exciting energy. And I don't know. The New Year's coming up. The holidays are coming up. That's usually a time of reflection and time of renewal. And so just feeling a lot of exciting energy. I'm kind of bubbling. I finally was able to reset my sleep schedule. Those of you who have been listening know that I've been on this weird nocturnal sleep schedule, which has just actually really been ruining me, because it's really thrown me off my goals and my patterns. And so yesterday, I just made sure I didn't fall asleep. So I did not sleep the night before. I pretty much stayed up all night. And then yesterday, I just refused. I left my house early. I did all of my work. I went to just a hotel lobby because they all have like Wi-Fi and stuff. And I just did all of my work in a hotel lobby. And then at about 3 p.m., I was really starting to feel that, like, I want to crash. And I started driving home. And then just before I got home, I'm going like, nope, because if you go home, you're going to go upstairs, you're going to get in your bed, and then you're going to fall asleep at like 3 or 4. And then you're going to be screwed again. So I didn't go home. I took another street. I went to another restaurant and worked, did some writing. And then I had this random inspiration to go drop by a good friend, some friends of mine who are incredible people, and they are dreamers and artists as well. They are filmmakers. Their husband and wife, he's a filmmaker. She's a filmmaker. She's an actress and a model. He writes and directs, and they both produce. And they've had some incredible success. They have worked so hard and have gotten a couple movies released. They have a movie out on Netflix, and they have a movie on Showtime. Their movie on Showtime is called Eminence, which I am actually in. For about 1 second, you can see me in the movie called Eminence if you go to Showtime. And their other movie, they're currently re-releasing it with a major studio, so I don't know if I should talk about it because I don't know what their NDAs or any of that stuff is. But I know that sometimes you just have to be careful. But they are ballers and dreamers. And so I'm sitting there writing, and all of a sudden I just said, I should just go stop by their house. I haven't seen them in a couple of months. So I totally just drove to their place and showed up and was able to talk to my friend Summer for a while. And it just really got me thinking about how important it is to find your tribe and to find those individuals who are really like-minded in terms of their energy, their effort, their ambition. Because I'll tell you, dreaming is a lonely path as it is, because you're constantly going to be fighting against a sea of criticism and haters and negativity, and then just genuine failure and discouragement and disappointment, and not to mention the head trash, your own head trash, at least my head trash. I have to constantly fight against my own inner critic. So it is really important to seek out, if you are fortunate enough, other individuals who get it, who are actually in the arena. You know, I quoted Brene Brown's, book where she talks about only take criticism from people who are in the arena with you. And what's so interesting is when I go and have these conversations with my friends tonight, or last night, it was specifically Summer, we talk about everything, and we talk about marketing and social media and going for dreams and the struggles and all of that. And she gives me a ton of feedback on my social media. And what's so fascinating is how different it feels. And there's a big difference between the negative comments on YouTube from people who, whatever, this sucks or whatever, versus receiving feedback from somebody who's actually in the arena with you. And the energy is so night and day. It's so clear when you are talking with somebody who actually, first of all, maybe knows what they're talking about. Secondly, who actually genuinely cares about you and wants you to be successful. And so their feedback is actually coming from a place of, how can I help you get to the next level? And what advice can I give? And it's so welcomed because the whole discussion is so positive and connected, and there's no ego. We don't want anything from each other other than each other's success. And we both know that we're in the arena busting our asses off, trying to make a name and trying to be successful. They're trying to be successful on the movie production front, which is every bit as audacious and challenging as trying to make it as a comedian or a performer or an actor. So those conversations are so rejuvenating, just to be around somebody else who, first of all, is in the arena, who's bearing the same scars and, as you are, and has really been through it. And it's, and it really is night and day. And I'll tell you, it's really important. And just be aware that there are also there's another group of people out there who claim to be your tribe, who on the surface, say they want you to be successful and, oh, that's great. But they aren't actually in the arena with you. And there's a different energy to that. There's a little bit of like, well, good luck, but they actually kind of do want you to fail. Like, they would never admit that to themselves because they're good people, and nobody would ever really admit, like, well, I don't want you to be successful at this. But there is a part of them that goes, man, I hope that you don't make it. Because I think in some way, then it justifies their own lack of going for their dreams. It's like, well, hey, that's great that you have this big dream. Good luck. But I really hope that you aren't successful, so that when you fall back down to earth with the rest of us, then, then it justifies their lack of going for it. Whatever that is. And I've sensed that before with people who were even close to me or friends of mine. And so that's something to be aware of. So again, I talked about this briefly in terms of a litmus test. Be very, very careful who is in your circle, who you share your plans with, who you are connecting with. And I'm going to strongly recommend you find people who are in the arena with you. People who are going for big goals themselves, big dreams, and can relate to your struggle, so that when you talk to them, they're coming from a place of, yes, we get it. we're in the same boat. And here's what we've learned. You can share notes. You can compare notes. You can say, oh, well, this is what I'm learning. I mean, I'm being kind of general here, but that is your tribe. And if you even have one of those, one or two of those, you're very, very fortunate, and you're in good company. I think I've read somewhere that we are the summation of the 5 people we spend the most time with, or something like that. So be very, very careful who those 5 people are. And that's difficult if maybe your immediate family or your living situation, or if you're in a committed relationship and that relationship is important, and maybe you're with a partner who doesn't share the same ambition or whatever, that can be really challenging. So all I can say is try to find at least one person who you can call up anytime, and as busy as they are, they will make time for you. And you can talk to them, get inspired by them, get feedback, compare notes, and get a rejuvenation of energy to just say, hey, I'm on this path. I've got this dream. I'm going for it. And so are you. Let's help each other along the way, along the journey. Very, very crucial. So anyway, I went to my friends last night, talked for about 30 minutes. And that's the thing. I was talking to the wife, Summer. She had somewhere to be, but I was uninvited, but I just dropped by, and it didn't matter. We just sat and talked as long as we could until she really had to go and get the kids ready and take off. And that just means so much to me, to have people like that in my life and have that type of support system. And those are the type of people that I seek out. And it's also, that's the type of person I want to be. I want to be that sort of inspiration for people. And one of the reasons I'm doing this podcast, so if this reaches anybody out there to give a little bit of inspiration, then that's what I'm up to. And that's why I'm happy to share the journey, so that I can perhaps provide some encouragement to people out there in internet land. And so grateful for the people who have been that in my life. So invaluable. Find your tribe. Find those people who are in the arena, who are really doing it. Not people who say they're doing it. Not the posers. Not the people who are watching you closely, but they're watching you because they're every bit as interested in watching you fail as they are claiming that they want you to succeed. And you'll know it's an energy, it's a vibe. And see what they're up to. What are they doing? What dreams are they pursuing? How are they pursuing them? What are they going for? When you talk to them, do they talk like somebody who is pursuing a dream, or do they talk like somebody who's making a bunch of excuses as to why they can't, or why they're not, or, are the conversations more about how hard everything is and how impossible everything is, or the conversations more about, this is what I'm up to, this is what I'm doing, this is what I've accomplished, this is what I haven't accomplished, these are the successes, these are the failures, this is what I'm learning. And everything is about being in the pursuit of this goal, as opposed to complaining and talking about anything else other than that. Complaining about politics, or complaining about how unfair everything, whatever it is. There's no shortage of things to complain about and excuses to make as to why life isn't the way that somebody feels it should be. And I've made plenty of those excuses and complaints before in my life. And more what I am learning about myself and about being on this journey is it really is on me. And if I'm not having the life that I want to have, then it is my responsibility and nobody else's to go and do everything I can to learn, to find the skill sets, to find the resources, to put in the effort find my tribe, find like-minded people, where to be courageous and to make big decisions. And, a couple weeks ago, I saw this stand-up comedy special on Netflix. I went to IMDb and found out who the producer of it was, found their email address, and emailed them. Just said, hey, I love this comedy special you produced. I would love to produce a comedy special with you. Let's talk. I never would have done that before. And did I hear back? No. And that's not the point, because you're not going to hear back most of the time. I have been emailing this comedy club up in Utah for 4 years to try to do a show there. They never book me, never hear back from them. And yet, probably every 2 or 3 months, I will talk to somebody who goes like, hey, you should go perform at Dry Bar. I'm going, I would love to. I've tried. They don't want to book me for whatever reason. But I keep emailing, keep submitting, and who knows? So you need to find people who get that and who are in that mindset of, I'm going for this. I'm doing things. I'm making decisions. I'm being as courageous and putting myself out there as much as possible, failing a ton, getting turned down, hearing no 1,000 times, and just knowing that, well, eventually it's going to turn around. But if you don't even try, if you don't ask, what's that phrase? If you don't ask, the answer's always no. So just start asking, start knocking on the doors, and see what opens up to you. And find your tribe, find your people, and let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens, and let's have some experiences and go get some of those dreams, everybody. So those are my thoughts on this rainy day in Arizona, December 22nd, 2023, episode 23 of the Paul Green Comedy Paulcast. I love you all. I'll talk to you tomorrow.